Did you know that the Nissan GT-R, aka Godzilla, is so precise that it can lap a track with the accuracy of a sniper, while the Dodge Challenger Hellcat is like a heavyweight boxer swinging for the fences with a 797 horsepower punch? Yeah, that's right, this isn't your everyday car comparison. Welcome to the world where finesse meets ferocity, where JDM meets American muscle, and these two automotive legends have been throwing down since before your dad could even drive stick. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's take a trip back. Imagine it's the 1970s in Japan. Gas prices are up, the economy's booming, and a little company called Toyota decides to shake things up with the Supra, a sleek, turbocharged machine that puts a big grin on every driver's face. Meanwhile, across the Pacific in America, Dodge and Ford are busy making cars that sound like they've swallowed a thunderstorm. Think Hemi engines and V8 roars that could wake up an entire neighborhood. Yeah, you get the picture. It's a rivalry as old as time. Precision versus power, sushi versus steak. And today we're diving into all the juicy details that have fueled this feud for decades. So, what makes this debate so spicy? Well, it's not just about the cars, it's about what they represent. JDM cars, Japanese domestic market for those who aren't fluent in car talk, are all about balance, high-revving engines, and that car as a work of art mentality. They focus on making you feel every curve, every shift, and every turbo spool. They're light, nimble, and they feel like they're part of you. Meanwhile, American muscle cars are the life of the party. Big engines, big sounds, big everything. It's like comparing a katana to a sledgehammer. Both are deadly, but the style, completely different. Now, let's fast forward to today. You've got the latest Nissan GT-R putting down a cool 600 horsepower thanks to a twin-turbo V6 and an all-wheel drive system that practically grips the road like a kid holding on to the last slice of pizza. This thing is a tech marvel, using a sophisticated all-wheel drive system and advanced aerodynamics that keep it planted through corners. It's got computer-assisted torque vectoring, which basically means it's always thinking 3 steps ahead of you when you're driving. The result? A car that corners like it's on rails. It's like the GT-R is playing chess while you're still figuring out checkers. On the other side, you've got the Dodge Hellcat, bringing a supercharged V8 with nearly 800 horsepower. It's like a hammer with wheels, and the sound? Oh man, that sound. It's a growl that can rattle windows and shake the fillings out of your teeth. You feel it in your bones. The Hellcat's supercharged engine can hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.6 seconds, and in a quarter-mile drag race, it's practically a rocket. But here's the thing. This car doesn't just go fast. It lets everyone within a mile radius know it's going fast. It's unapologetically loud and brash, and that's exactly why people love it. But here's where it gets real. Which one is actually better? You've got the JDM fans saying things like, it's not just about power, it's about the driving experience. And the muscle car lovers are like, who cares about corners? I just want to roast my tires. So let's dive into it. Let's break down what each of these monsters can do, where they shine, and where they might just maybe fall flat. First off, let's talk about handling. You take a GT-R around some tight bends, and it's like a dance partner that just knows your every move. The all-wheel drive and the sophisticated suspension make it a dream on twisty roads. You could probably even take it on a date and impress it with your terrible Spotify playlist. And because the GT-R has this techie, futuristic vibe, you feel like you're driving a car that's one step away from being a transformer. It's got launch control that lets you blast off the line like you're escaping the cops in a high-speed chase movie. And with its adaptive suspension, it can go from comfortable cruiser to track monster with just a few taps. Meanwhile, the Hellcat's approach is a bit different. You see a corner, the Hellcat sees a corner, and it just says, nah, I'm going straight. But can you blame it? This car was built for the drag strip. It's like that friend who's amazing at one thing, like doing a keg stand, but you wouldn't ask them to help you with your calculus homework. If you take it to the track, the Hellcat's straight line speed is ridiculous. You put your foot down, and it's like, you want to go to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds? Sure, why not? It's more about the experience of raw, unfiltered power that makes you laugh like a maniac every time you stomp on the gas. But let's not pretend that straight line speed doesn't matter. I mean, you know what they say. Horsepower sells cars, but torque wins races. And the Hellcat has torque for days. 656 lb-ft to be exact. But here's the twist. Modern muscle cars like the Ford Mustang GT and even the Chevrolet Camaro SS have really stepped up their handling game. They're not just about smoking tires anymore. These cars have gotten smarter, more refined, kind of like that buddy who cleaned up their act after high school, but still knows how to have a good time. The new Mustang, for example, comes with independent rear suspension, and the Camaro's magnetic ride control adjusts in real time to keep things steady through the corners. Alright, let's get into the tech. JDM cars are known for being tech-forward, like that friend who's always got the latest phone and is somehow always a beta tester for new apps. Take the Toyota Supra, for instance. The new one has BMW tech under the hood, making it smooth, responsive, and full of all the tech goodies you didn't know you needed. But some purists think that's like putting pineapple on pizza. A German heart in a Japanese body? Scandalous. But that partnership means you get a turbocharged straight six that's silky smooth and a chassis that's tight and responsive. It's a different kind of thrill, one that's all about precision and balance. On the flip side, the Hellcat is more like, what's tech? It's got horsepower, a loud exhaust, and a supercharger whine that's basically a siren song for car lovers. Sure, it has a few gadgets and touchscreen controls, but let's be real. You're buying this car because you want to feel like Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious. Yet, even the Hellcat's gotten a little more civilized with things like adaptive damping and multiple drive modes that let you dial it down for a smoother ride or turn it up to track mode when you just want to go nuts. But cars aren't just about numbers and tech. They're about the culture, the community. JDM cars have this almost underground vibe, like you're in on a secret if you own one. You go to a JDM meet, and it's a bunch of people geeking out over carbon fiber hoods and comparing boost pressures. It's like a nerd convention, but with more exhaust fumes. And if you've ever heard a Supra or an RX-7 with a proper turbo setup, you know the sound is pure bliss. It's like music to the ears. If that music was performed by a jet engine, then you have the American muscle crowd, which is like one big, loud family reunion where everyone's comparing engine builds and talking about that time they swapped out a carburetor in 20 minutes flat. You pull up to a Cars and Coffee meet with a Hellcat, and suddenly you've got 10 new friends who all want to know how fast you've gone and how many tires you burned through. It's that sense of camaraderie, the kind where you know you'll always find someone to talk cars with, even if you can't hear them over the sound of your engine. But let's settle the debate, or at least try to. We did a little bit of our own research asking people what they thought, and the results? Well, they were mixed, to say the least. Half of the folks we talked to would die on a hill defending the honor of the GTR and its precision engineering. The other half? They just want to hear that Hellcat growl. And honestly, can you blame them? It's like comparing sushi to a steak. Both are amazing, but they scratch different itches. So, if you're still with us, here's the million-dollar question. Which car should you buy? Well, if you love high-tech, precision, and want something that feels like a piece of automotive art, go for the JDM. If you're looking to be the loudest, fastest thing on your block, and you've got a thing for American-made power, grab that Hellcat and don't look back. But let's be real, there's no definitive winner here. It's like choosing your favorite superhero. Some days you want the finesse of Spider-Man, and other days you want the Hulk's smash power. At the end of the day, it's all about what makes you smile when you hit the gas. Maybe you'll even be one of those lucky few who has both in their garage. A twin-turbo beast and a supercharged monster. Now that's living the dream. So drop a comment below. Are you Team JDM or Team Muscle? And if you enjoyed this wild ride, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more car content that'll fuel your passion. Trust me, you don't want to miss what we've got coming up next. See you in the next video, and remember, keep the rubber on the road.